Good morning, everyone, and again, thank you very much for inviting me to say a few words on how I understand gender perspective in the field of civil protection. And what I did for today, I just took a look at how the field of civil protection can be related with protection of women during military conflicts. And to start talking about this, you can't escape of two landmark documents, and these are United Nations that already mentioned document Resolution 1325, and also General Recommendation number 28 of the CEDAW Committee of member I am. And this general recommendation was adopted just a few weeks ago, and also talks about women protection during military conflicts. So how both documents could enhance gender perspective in the field of civil protection. Both documents stressed that armed conflicts worsen existing gender inequalities, placing women at a higher risk of sexual and gender-based violence in the armed conflict and in post-conflict situation. However, both documents stress also that conflict-related sexual and gender-based violence and discrimination against women does not occur in a vacuum. It is always accompanied by the destruction of everyday life, family, and community structures. In this regard, the main principles of the Resolution 1325 and aforementioned General Recommendation number 28 can facilitate better understanding of gender equality policies in the field of civil protection during and after of any other social, economical, and political crisis or natural disasters. Numerous researchers state that during any socio-economical and political crisis or natural disasters, women suffer more because of their sex and deeply rooted gender inequality that they already had before the disaster. In this respect, discrimination against women goes together with other intersecting forms of discrimination, including but not limited to discrimination on the basis of race, socioeconomic status, color, ethnic or social origin, disability, religion, sexual orientation, age, refugee or other immigration status. UN Resolution 1325 and CEDAW General Recommendation number 28 repeatedly draw attention of importance of women's access to mostly to economic, health, and education infrastructure during let's say, some social unrest and after that. For instance, it is often women who suffer more from high unemployment rates, which force many women to work in illegal sectors during or after social crises or after natural disasters. Thus, economic vulnerability affects more many women than men because of male-dominated leadership structures. Again, the stereotyping of women exclusively as mothers and housewives in ways that limits their equal and meaningful participation in the political, economic, and public activities of the country is a globally spread gender stereotype, which also lessens women's activity, women's active role in societies. Both documents just stress if you have a very traditional, very patriarchal stereotype on women, after any social unrest and in post-conflict situations, it just became worse. The breakdown of state public and service provision infrastructure lead to the lack of delivery of essential services to the population. And again, mainly women and children are in such situations are in a much worse positions. In such situations, women again are at the front line of suffering. Central to the protection of women's human rights in the field of civil protection is their ability to effectively and meaningfully participate in the public and political life of their country. In this regard, the effect of national gender machinery is especially important in the civil protection context. Accordingly, national gender machinery includes adequately funded national gender equality structures, the adoption of temporary special measures, and implementation of gender mainstreaming in all relevant national policies and programs, especially in the field of, again, health, education, and employment. Just because both documents treat that these three fields are much more important during conflicts or natural disasters and dealing with them. Gender mainstreaming is a strategic way of working with which intends to display the actual conditions for women and men. Every task that affects the individual should be tested from a gender perspective, and consequences of the changes for women and men should be analyzed. The mainstreaming strategy is to create gender equality between women and men through a long-term process, which prevents putting gender equality aside while promoting other political issues and tasks. And as my colleague from Finland said, of course, mainly this understanding of gender mainstreaming, it's maybe already implemented at least on the level of legal framework in Finland and Sweden. But if to talk of the rest of countries in the Baltic region, I think we should wish just yes for better. Yeah, thank you very much.